So here's the twist. The bombshell that blew everything wide open. The truth finally leaks, and guess what? The money was sitting right there the whole time. Tiffany steps aside, and suddenly it's, "Oh, wow, look what we found." Please, that cash didn't just fall from the sky. Napoleon was padding his paycheck, tweaking budgets, flipping numbers like it was a street hustle, doing the same shady moves Tiffany got roasted for. And now, maybe she wasn't even stealing. Maybe she just wasn't ready to show her cards. Now Napoleon's realizing, wait, she might have been innocent? Welcome to transparency, my guy. Napoleon, if you really want to shine as Mr. Transparent, start by keeping it real. Don't come strolling in like the face of integrity when you're just remixing the same scam with cleaner fonts. You're not rewriting history. You're copy-pasting Tiffany's playbook with Grammarly turned on. All that talk about being open and honest, it doesn't mean a thing if you're still pulling strings behind the curtain. The only thing see-through right now is your ego, and it's paper thin. But before we dive deeper, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Because of Thornton Township meeting? Phew, people said the board sounded defensive, but honestly, that's just their default mode. They dodge accountability, like it's dodgeball in gym class. What really stood out wasn't them, it was the residents. Folks stepped up to the mic dropping bars that had me laughing, side-eyeing, and thinking all at once. Classic Thornton chaos. Then this one dude, Christopher Gonzalez, steps up, and man, I've had my eye on him for years. Something about his whole vibe just screams, "Trust me," while holding a knife behind his back. Let's not forget, he's the same guy who slid Tiffany's name into the mix way back, clearing her path to power. That move alone set off red flags in HD. And now he's back, acting bold at the mic again. Yeah, that's snake behavior if I've ever seen it. So he starts talking, and then, boom, he drops this one line that made me hit pause like, wait, did he really just say that? Nah, we're not letting that slide. We're unpacking every word, play by play, because whatever slick move he thought he pulled, we're dragging it into the light. You know me. I'm about to dissect it down to the syllable. So roll that clip. Let's break this down. Now let's be real. Tiffany hated questions. Ask her something simple, and she'd glare like you insulted her ancestors. Her default answer? Why don't you just trust me? Like transparency was an attack. And her second chances hiring policy? Yeah, that was code for stacking her office with folks too scared to challenge her. When everyone owes you a favor or fears your wrath, no one dares to push back. That's not leadership, that's control. And then came her budgets, or should I say, blank checks disguised as policy. Tiffany wanted those papers signed faster than anyone could even read them. For all we knew, she was just writing Tiffany checks to Tiffany. No answers, no proof, just vibes. But the narrative now, the chaos wasn't theft, it was secrecy. Nobody knew what was real. Then she's gone, and suddenly, bam, Napoleon's giving himself raises, and everything's crystal clear. Convenient, huh? So what's the truth here? Are we saying Tiffany wasn't a thief, just controlling to the point of destruction? Maybe her downfall wasn't corruption. It was paranoia and pride. Because if the money was there all along, untouched, then this wasn't about greed. It was about ego. I remember Tiffany saying, "We have money," but the second someone asked to see proof, she'd snap, "Watch your tone." That's not crime. That's arrogance with a spreadsheet. Now, though, things are finally shifting. Budgets are transparent. Numbers are public. Services are improving, not disappearing. This is what accountability looks like. Less chaos, more clarity. Even her old tax refund project, it's back. But this time with math that actually makes sense. This is the level up the township needed all along. Doing more with less and actually showing their work. And Tiffany, this is where Gonzalez Loki gave you the best backhanded compliment of your career. He basically said, you weren't a crook. You were just impossible. And you know what? That tracks. Your biggest downfall wasn't stealing. It was acting like every question was an attack. Pride killed your reign faster than any scandal. You locked everything up so tight people assumed you had something to hide. Even if you didn't steal, you created a smoke that looked like fire. But hey, lean into it. Spin it. Drop your book. Do your press tour. Play the misunderstood martyr. We both know that book isn't a book. It's a stapled pamphlet with dreams. But hey, sell the fantasy. And honestly, I'll give you this. Gonzalez wasn't lying about everything. For once, the math actually matches a message. But Gonzalez, my guy, please stop talking. You're digging your own hole live on camera. The audience is silently begging you to shut up, but you keep running your mouth like a motivational speaker on low battery. Back then, when folks pitched projects, the question was always, where's the math? Who benefits? What's the plan? Crickets. Now, receipts are real. That's how progress looks. Not from board to board, but from board to people. Picture Napoleon sitting there like, hold up, so Tiffany wasn't stealing? She just didn't share? And now he's sweating, realizing if she got roasted just for secrecy, what happens when he messes up? Lesson time, Napoleon, transparency. Be so open we can see your thoughts. Don't be a brick wall, be a window pane. Because at the end of the day, everything comes down to one thing, communication. And for the first time in forever, Thorne might finally be getting it right. Think of like a relationship. You learn, you adapt, you grow. Unless you're one of the thirsty ones crushing on Napoleon. He's married. Relax. This isn't Tinder Township. But hey, growth is growth. The people are finally part of the process. The loop is open and the energy, way better. And then someone actually says, don't worry, I'm going to do my job now. Imagine that. Sir, did you just admit you've been cashing checks for speeches and selfies? And now you want applause because you open your laptop? Please. Chris, what you think you're saying isn't what the crowd is hearing. That sad, lonely clap at the end, that wasn't support. That was pity. The kind of pity that says, let me clap once before he cries. If that was your kid or someone who just needed a ride home, fine. But real applause? Absolutely not. Still, credit where it's due. Shout out to the supervisor, the board, and especially the residents. Y'all keep asking the hard questions. No more trust me, bro budgets. No more smoke and mirrors. Finally, people are in the room where it actually happens. That's the game. That's the tweet. But Chris, next time you feel that itch to grab a mic, resist it. Because the last time you had a bright idea, Tiffany became supervisor. And ever since, we've been trapped in a full-blown circus. This ain't redemption. It's opportunism wrapped in a cheap disguise. And seeing Marvon up there? Wrong. Vibe completely. Looked like she clicked the wrong Zoom link and just decided to stay. Back to Chris, though. Because all he really did was confirm what everyone already suspected. Tiffany wasn't out here stealing. She was just guarding that budget like it was Grandma's secret recipe. Once she left, y'all opened the books, and surprise, no missing millions. No secret offshore accounts. Just Tiffany being Tiffany. Stubborn, paranoid, allergic to accountability. So clear the record. If she wasn't a thief, then say it loud. The streets didn't call her bossy. They called her a crook. If that's false, correct it. Don't let that lie breathe another day. And look, I've caught her lying plenty. She spins stories smoother than a carnival barker. But lie ain't stealing, and somewhere along the way, y'all blur that line. Truth is, Tiffany could walk right back in and own this whole moment. She took more hits than most and kept pushing, built forward tough. Unlike a certain someone who shows up with a walker, crying wolf every 5 minutes. Ma'am, don't. You threw shade for years, but the second people started questioning your mystery illness, you screamed harassment and dialed 911. Please, sit down that we won't name names. You love your anonymity, but Jedi knows. We all know the math ain't matting. Anyway, behave or don't. I'm not. But remember, Mama still loves you. Always.